it is worth noting that cats have really small lungs. And if they fail to connect with that prey and to take it down quickly, they give up. So if you've got a long head start, you're gonna outrun it. My name's Mark Elbroch. I've been studying mountain lions for 20 years, and I've been lucky enough to also work with African lions and leopards. Today, we're gonna be looking at big cat attacks in movies and judging how real they are. Where they stand up to begin a wrestling is actually real. African lions will do that when they engage in a fight, especially over territory or rights to a pride. Young lions actually challenge old lions. That's totally real. And that old lions almost always have a set of scars on their face from these territorial disputes over time. That's totally normal. To see an old lion without any scars means that lion has been bred in captivity. The swiping of the paws, all of that sort of rapid, violence is very real. I would just point out too that the skin of cats, when you see them, they often look loose. They're swiping with these weapons, these claws that can dig in an inch or more. And that loose skin is protecting them. The big mane is protecting them. So that all is defenses to allow them to have these violent exchanges. There was a moment there where you saw one go onto his back. That's really normal. A cat in a defensive posture will start to go onto its back to have 4 weapons pointing up. They are devastating because now if a competitor comes on top of them, they just shred their underbelly with all the vital organs. It's amazing to have that much realism in a cartoon. So I'm gonna give this thing an 8. This is a pet animal, a pet tiger. There are more tigers in captivity in the US alone than there are wild tigers in the entire world. And that's just a crazy thing to ponder. The ears were forward. You always watch the ears of cats. And so this was not a threatened animal. It wasn't an agitated animal. It was just chilling.
This does not seem fair.
It's rock, paper, scissors. There's nothing more fair.
Interesting idea to try to drug the tiger. In fact, I know people who have tried this on wild animals. They use syringes and load them up with drugs. I've seen that work in the field. So that's real. I mean, real-ish, but depending what they're giving it. When you saw the tiger chewing on the seat, we call those displacement behaviors. A lot of captive animals exhibit sort of stress in different ways. And so they'll bite things, they'll claw things. I'm gonna give this movie a 5. Note the pattern here, that there's sort of black squares with dots in them. And that's really important to identifying a jaguar and differentiating it from a leopard, which has no black dots in the middle. I've seen this movie, so I know the context of it. And so I know that the jaguar is a pet. The owner has trained this cat to engage in wrestling matches. Would a jaguar wander into a bar to get a raw steak or to engage people? Absolutely not. In fact, jaguars, among all the big cats, have the least records of attacking people in the wild. It's almost unheard of. If that were a real fight and the jaguar were truly to bite down, it could quite literally bite through his arm. They have tremendous biting power as compared to other cats of similar size.
I'm going to pet you now, and you're not going to eat me. Understood?
Hollywood loves its noises, and in this case, it has the jaguar purring. Jaguars can roar, but they cannot purr. So that, of course, is completely unrealistic. I'm gonna give this a 4. It's got tremendous comedy and poor natural history.
Hey, buddy. Oh, you're a little scary kitty, huh?
That's a real mountain lion kitten. All cats are born with blue eyes. The pigments haven't started to develop in their eyes yet. You can see this kitten has been handled plenty. It's not agitated, its ears are forward. To me, I would call that a smiling kitty. The mountain lions can't roar, so they were often considered the largest of the small cats. An agitated mountain lion would be hissing. They go, and then they'll snort, like as they pull the air back in to hiss again, they'll go, and go.
Oh my God.
This is one of the first clips in which we've seen a cat drop its head and lower the front half of its body. And that's exactly what a wild cat does when it is preparing to pounce. What would a mountain lion really do if it was defending its kittens? It's all about bluster. They'll false charge you, they make noise. It would be an incredibly rare thing that they would actually make contact. Because in a fight, they are vulnerable. And the best thing for the safety of their own kittens is to stay alive.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's so much to talk about. The cat's enormous to Kevin, and I know Kevin Hart is not a huge man. So a typical female, especially in Southern California, is gonna be like 80 pounds. That cat is huge compared to what it should be.
Oh my God.
How she even dropped to the ground and let go of him is totally not mountain lion. When a cat attaches to something it's attacking, they do not let go. Like, they are attached, and they'll go down with their prey. They've actually been seen rolling off mountains attached to a bighorn sheep or some other prey and rolling together. Is that an EpiPen? He's not jabbing it in the jugular, he's jabbing it in the shoulder, which would be, the least effective form of defense. The neck would have been good, or the eye. People often recommend, if a cat is actually attacking you, go for the eye. I'm gonna give this one a 5. African lions, the largest ones, are almost as large as the largest tigers. There are records of up to 600 pounds, but they exhibit extreme dimorphism. And that's a fancy word for saying the males are a lot bigger than the females. When I've been in the field and confronted a lion, when they stand up, their eyes are essentially even with your chest, which is incredibly intimidating. And this is hard to watch. This reminds me of, is it The Revenant that had Leonardo DiCaprio? That bear scene was just brutal, like in its ferocity. And this is the most realistic attack we've seen. It is on his back. They often go for the spine, big cats, when they're attacking any kind of prey. And you notice this lion is biting a lot. We haven't seen that in these other clips. Lots of clawing, which, as I talked about, is more about wounding. This is a lion going for a kill. This clip is as real as it gets. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. And it loses 2 points in just the impact on the person who was at the receiving end. The devastation of that attack would have been lethal.
What the hell? But if you're scared, that beautiful death machine will do what God made it to do.
This part of that clip is actually real. That if you keep showing fear to a mountain lion or to another big cat, you're setting yourself up for a potentially dangerous situation. You never want to give a cat the opportunity to, what I call, gain momentum. They'll become bolder, and they'll continue to do whatever they're doing to make you afraid. Most folks will recommend you take 2 fast steps towards it. Like, you step towards it, and I'll clap. I'll stamp my feet. I'll be loud. I'll be aggressive. And they'll usually just be like, whoa, and then they'll leave.
God, he's just following me wherever I go.
Well, he's just looking at you.
That's actually a really cool thing to talk about, because cats lock on their prey. To get them to break that focal lock is really important if you were to ever be in an encounter with a big cat, which you can do by yelling, screaming, doing something surprising.
Hey, here we go. I'm getting in.
The sound at the end, that it's so funny because it's the ringtone on my phone, and because that is one of the most overused, popular sounds of mountain lions. I love the fact they talked about fear We'll give it a 6. The greatest problem with Hollywood cat attacks are the noises. First off, cats are completely silent when they're hunting. You don't let your prey know you're coming. When that tiger emerges and hits the wolf, that's actually a really important thing to note about cat hunting, is that they use their bodies, not just their claws and their teeth. Sometimes if they can get enough power behind themselves, just their weight alone can break the neck of an animal. You should never run. That's like triggering the prey response in a large carnivore. You want to confront a large cat that is confronting you. If it's threatening you, you want to scare it. But let's just assume that you're running, you've made that decision. It is worth noting that cats have really small lungs and that they have these short bursts. That's why they're explosive when they hunt. And if they fail to connect with that prey and to take it down quickly, they give up. So if you've got a long head start and you could get that cat to run for, half mile or so, yeah, you're gonna outrun it, because humans are actually built for marathon runs. There's no way he could stand up to being clawed several times. So cat claws are protractable. And that means that when the cat is relaxed, they're actually sheathed. You don't see the claws. And that keeps them razor sharp, so that when they capture prey or swipe prey, they immediately cut in and cut lacerations like sharp knives. Just one swipe of a tiger's claw would completely debilitate this guy. I'm gonna give this one a 7.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
Will a tiger defend food from a potential scavenger? Absolutely. And lions too, and mountain lions too, and leopards too. They'll all do that. It has the tiger's ears out to the side. And that is an uncomfortable animal. That is an agitated animal. It is telling the world in every way that it is very unhappy with its current situation. Pi takes to water for safety, right? He leaps off the boat. And if the tiger were locked on him, like truly hunting him, that probably wouldn't have saved him, because tigers swim and swim quite well. But in this case, as I mentioned, the tiger didn't seem to be locked on him. I'm going to give this clip an 8 because the CGI is amazing. That could happen. I've seen mountain lions kill bear cubs on a couple of occasions. In terms of like how it would hunt in open terrain, the most similar sort of scenario I've seen is in the far south out in the Patagonia grasslands. And a mountain lion would be down low, using every bit of grass or rock to get as close as possible. They wouldn't betray their presence. Now, if they thought that prey was totally vulnerable, which a young bear might be, then sure, you'll see cats nonchalantly approach prey that cannot get away. We can appreciate this as an actual mountain lion, but that this is a cat that is clearly uncomfortable and is not as hunting. Would a mountain lion confronted with an adult brown bear turn and flee? Absolutely. Mountain lions will always choose the exit rather than engage unless they're cornered. And that gets me a little bit to talk about the habitat here. It's totally open. There's hardly any trees. It's a lot of rock. This is actually not great cat habitat, at least in the north where you have brown bears, because this is the domain of wolves. And wolves always have the upper hand in the open. And so cats, when you look at their distribution across North America, they're almost never found in these wide open areas. So we've got real mountain lions, real bears. I'm still gonna give it a 7 because the open terrain doesn't really match. My favorite big cat attack scene from today would be from Me Time. Part of my enjoyment of that clip was how poorly it was done, in terms of CGI and the interaction between Kevin Hart's character and the actual mountain lion. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're feel-lining it, please click on the video above.